Josh to me and to so many of us. I met Josh, oh my goodness, many, many years ago when he was still a Pride Lines youth. He was about 18, 19, and I met him at the prom. I was one of the chaperones because I'm a lot older than he is. And I was just taken by his energy, by that winning smile, and by his real deep commitment and sincere commitment to really get to know this movement and our community and our shared history. And after he aged out of Pride Lines, he remained very involved in the organization. He served as, chair of the board of Pride Lines. And when Pride Lines was going through some difficult times, the young Josh went out into our community and banged on doors and convinced us that this place was necessary. It was needed for the youth, the GLBTQ youth of our community. And it was a large part with his efforts that kept going. And then he formed a coalition with others and created the Alliance for GLBT Youth, which exists today. But that was just the beginning. After that, Josh engaged in activism for the next 2 decades. He's worked with organizations all over South Florida, including Safe Schools South Florida, Equality Florida, and SAVE. He's also worked with the National LGBT Task Force. In 2002, when our Miami-Dade ordinance was in trouble, Josh didn't stop working. He went out and he basically worked on a special project with the National Task Force to basically rally our youth to help SAVE's efforts to beat back the threats of that ordinance. He then went on with the task force and chaired the task force dinner, and with his committee raised $2.4 million that went into the task force and Miami-Dade overall GLBT organization. So he currently serves as the chair of the LGBTQ Community Fund at the Miami Foundation, and as chairing that committee, they have poured into this community $250,000 to LGBTQ organizations that help vulnerable populations here in South Florida. So as a result of 2 decades plus of work in this community, it is no wonder that we're certainly not the first organization to bestow an honor upon Josh. He has been honored and named Outstanding Young Leader by the Greater Miami chapter of Association of Fundraising Professionals, Dade Community Foundation, Donors Forum of South Florida, the Greater Miami Chamber of Commerce, and United Way Miami-Dade, and now today SAGE. On a personal level, I want to say that Josh is one of the most genuine, optimistic people I know. He is a good friend to his friends, and by the way, that is multi-generational. And he is always at the ready to help fight for our community, for the young, from the youngest to the oldest. And so he's just really a terrific person, and I can't leave without saying the very damn best salsa dancer I have ever met. Will you welcome Josh Santiago?
We'll do pictures in a second. So thank you, Terry. Coming from someone who's known me for the better part of 20 years, it means a lot, and you made me cry. So that's good. I do have my phone with me because I'm 3 drinks in, and Michael, I gotta tell you, I'm disappointed, man. I thought there was gonna be a stage coming up from the tank with a teleprompter.
It's the Gallaudet.
But no,
You didn't produce this one time.
I did not. But thank you, Sage, for this incredible honor. I have to tell you, when I first found out about it, it was a little bit scary because I got a text message from Jerry Chasen who said he needed to speak with me urgently. So my initial reaction was, oh crap, I'm in trouble. But then he told me what it was about, and that quickly changed to just deep appreciation. I feel really humbled to receive this award and be in the company of the people who have received it before me. You know, I actually remember my very first Sage and Friends Miami Gala, and in that gala I met Ruthie Berman and Connie Kurtz. I didn't know them then at the moment, and when I spent just a little bit of time with them, I recognized just what an incredible couple these two women are, or were. Connie unfortunately has passed away. But just how in their own right, they were just these incredible forces of nature. And everyone who's received this award, the folks that have been surrounded by SAVE, are people that I feel so lucky to have had the privilege to enjoy their presence and their company. And I'm grateful that they've had the patience to endure mine. Truth is, behind everything I've done, aside from the fact of being surrounded by incredible people, there have been voices that have shaped who I am and what I do. Voices from the past. And tonight, there's so many of you here, people that have seen me grow, people that have given me advice, who have steered me the right way by sharing your story, by sharing your history and the history of our community. So, when I was the chair of Pride Lines in my early 20s, I can tell you I had no idea what I signed up for. But one of the people who really helped me out, one of the people that was just there in my corner in one of the most challenging times, was Mr. James G. Pepper. Woo! So, before I met him, I have to tell you, I had no idea who he was. I had no idea what he did. I didn't know who he knew. And I didn't know the fights that he had fought. I didn't know the sacrifices that Jim made. And I didn't know the losses that he experienced when HIV/AIDS ravaged his closest circle of friends and our community. But what I did know was he was retired, he was from New York, and that I somehow needed to find a way to meet him. And when I did, he presented himself as a gentleman with a little bit of a southern drawl. Oh, and who loved to correct my English when I spoke. Like my English teaching mother, excuse me. So that's how our relationship began. And over time, he shared his story and he coached me, sometimes gently, sometimes with tough love, but all coming from a good place. And I honestly don't know where I, or Pride Lines for that matter, would be without Jim. So I share this with you because I really believe in the work that SAGE does. Our LGBTQ elders have fought a very tough fight, and it doesn't matter where you are socioeconomically, to understand their story, what they've been through, what they've lost, and what they've gained. It helps us all to be seen, to be heard, and to be better. So tonight, if you haven't already, I will ask you to please support the important work that SAGE does by generously donating your money, which is always good and welcome, but also by donating your time. Like, find a mentor someone, learn from each other, support one another. I certainly would not be here without that. So before I go, I do want to propose a toast. So everybody grab your drinks.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I do that. I'm very grab your drinks. So, I'd like to propose a toast to those voices. Some loud, some quiet, to our mentors, to our mentees, to the activists, to the forces of nature, and to the badasses. Thank you for everything that you've done for me, for our community, and thank you for being the shoulders on which we stand on today. Cheers.